You're tuned in to the Cre8 Podcast, where we explore the stories, advice, and insights from well-known and influential creatives in the industry. I'm your host, Cindy Morioki, and this is where creatives connect. Hi, Wabosha.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for gracing the set of the Cre8 Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We're happy to have you here. Can you introduce yourself to our guests and let them know what it is you do?
My name is Maxine Wabosha. I am a digital content creator, a podcast host, and the founder of Safirii.
Nice. A multi-talented queen.
Period.
Now, I know you are all the things that you've just mentioned, but I also know you studied something else. And you've told me earlier that you've never practiced it.
Yes.
So could you tell us what it is you studied?
I studied mechanical engineering at the University of Nairobi. Yes.
Emphasis on the.
The.
How did you end up there?
So after I finished high school, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. Actually, even before I finished high school. And I remember my dad was like, you know what, you just get the A. Once you get the A, you can pick whatever you want to do. So I finished, did well, and now it's time to, pick what I wanted to do. When I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor like every other child.
Same.
But then, that biology it was not.
You and I are the same on that one.
Exactly.
The bio killed me.
Yeah, but I really liked math. I liked physics. So it narrowed down my selection kidogo.
Yes.
Then when I was picking mechanical engineering, honestly, what I thought, like the vision I had in mind, the girl in Fast and the Furious, I think her name is Letty. She's always fixing the cars and racing them and looking so cool. That's what I had in mind. When I was going to be a mechanical engineer, it was nothing like that.
I was going to say, I don't think they do that.
For sure. But yeah, that's how I ended up doing engineering.
Okay. Yeah. Did you actually, even though it wasn't how you thought it would be, did you end up enjoying it while you were studying it?
Up to a point.
Okay.
Up to a point, because I started doing content when I was in about second year. Then by the time I was in about third year, I think I knew I was not going to practice engineering. I knew I was just going to get into content full time. But I mean, I'm already in third year. I have 2 years left. So that's like, you know what? Let's just finish and get the degree, and then we'll figure it out after that.
5 years of uni sounds so crazy to me. I did a business degree. That's 3 years.
Yeah. Oh, wow. If I had 3 years.
Well, but now, so technically you're engineer, Maxine Wabosha.
Well, until I do, because I think there's some certification, like an exam you have to do to officially get the engineering title.
Okay. Interesting. Can you share your experience with the starting now of content creation? Because you said you started in second year.
Yes.
I already know how it started, right? You were helping your friend with an eyebrow tutorial, was it?
Yes, it was.
And it was too big to send via WhatsApp, so you uploaded it on YouTube.
Yes.
And then now that started picking up and kind of quote unquote went viral.
Exactly.
So what made you decide, okay, I'm just gonna give this a shot?
So before I got into makeup, I was in theater. So the whole singing, acting, the plays and stuff, so that's what I used to do. So there's one audition I went to, and I really wanted a specific role that I didn't get. And then the director looks at me and goes like, you know what, I actually really like your makeup. Why don't you come in as a makeup artist for the cast instead? Yeah. And I'm looking at this man and I'm like, what makeup? My Davis eyeliner and mascara that I do every day. Yeah. So you just tell me if you don't want to give me the
just
part.
Say you hate me and you don't want me here.
But it ended up being that the makeup artist was actually getting more money than the cast.
Oh.
So I was like, okay,
sign me up.
I'm going to do the
Yeah,
makeup.
yeah.
I ended up doing the makeup, but that was like for Mekati Lily. So it was like tribal, nini, very simple and not really like nice
full glam
makeup.
yeah.
But the next show was going to be Cinderella. Cinderella can't look like Mekati Lily.
Yes,
Cinderella has
definitely.
to look like a pretty princess.
Of course.
So that's how I went to now makeup school.
Okay.
So I did classes so that I can be able to, go for the show. And then now when that friend of mine saw I was doing the classes, that's when she asked for the eyebrow video.
Okay.
So that's how that led to the brow video.
Okay.
Then when people just kept on asking for the request, I was like, okay, this
Why
person
not?
asks for how do I put lashes next? That's what I do. So in the beginning, it was very based on what people wanted to see. And then I started really enjoying, creating the videos. So I just kept on doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the makeup came first, then the content creation.
Yes.
And do you don't still do makeup videos, do you?
Once in a while.
But you've shifted a lot. So
yes.
what do you classify yourself as as a content creator?
Actually, I'm in a season where I feel like my content is actually also shifting again.
Okay.
Because like my content has always really shifted with what I'm currently doing or I'm currently interested in at the time. And I feel like now, like you've said, I'm really shifting from the beauty and makeup and getting more into business content.
Okay.
So I think that's what I'm slowly transitioning into. It's going to be business and travel to, link Safirii as well.
True.
Yeah.
Before we get into how you started Safirii, on your content creation journey, is there anything that you would say really stood out for you, or the moment you were like, this is something I can do long term? Yeah.
I wouldn't say, because knowing that I'd do it long term came much later on.
Okay.
But the first moment where I was like, oh, there might be something here was the first time there was this store. Actually, it's even closed now, but it was a makeup store, and they sent me a huge bag of makeup, and they were like, here, we just want to send you makeup and you can review it and tell your people about it. And I was so shocked. I was like, all this makeup
for free?
Yeah. I was like, wow. Only to learn that people are not only given the makeup, but also paid.
The money.
So I think that was the first like aha moment.
Yeah.
And then the next one was probably when the YouTube checks started coming in.
Okay.
Which were not really much, to be
Yeah.
very honest. Because
Yeah.
I think my first check was like for 8,000.
Okay.
Compared to the amount of time you have put in.
That's
'Cause
true.
I used to do 2 videos every week, and I had school Monday to Friday. So that's all my Saturdays and Sundays spent filming and editing.
Yeah.
So I can upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So the 8,000 compared to the work put in was not much.
It doesn't match.
But
yeah.
at that time I was just like, wow.
I mean, to be fair, it's like the internet is paying you to just post some videos.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then when you started getting brand deals, was it tricky for you when it came to pricing yourself, rate cards and stuff like that? Or how did you go about it?
Definitely, because at the time, I think there was the OGs, Kina, Nancy, Sharon, Joy Candy. Those were the guys doing. And then me and Joanna had literally just
entered the scene.
Started doing. So there's no one who I felt like I could really ask. I didn't have any of these people contacts. Maybe I could have just DM'd them, but I was also shy.
I get it, yeah.
I don't know how to ask. So yeah, when it comes to pricing, I'm sure I made like a lot of mistakes in the beginning.
Yeah.
But also it helped that I had engineering, like I was going to school, and by the time I was peaking, I was getting really busy. So that's when I got management.
Okay.
And the first thing they did was adjust my rate card by almost double.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah.
Okay, so you were like, why? I was underpricing myself.
For sure, yeah.
And what led you to get your management?
So like I mentioned, that's the time when I was peaking is when now I'm getting into 4th year.
Okay.
I'm doing projects as well. So I was really, really busy. I was struggling. You can imagine now I can't shoot during the week because I have school
Yeah.
most days from 8 to 6. Then now it leaves the weekend for shooting my own content plus brand content. So it was getting really, really hectic. Like I needed someone to at least take care of the business side of things.
Yeah.
So I actually went for an event once. It was a Cotex event. And I met a team that was managing Sharon, actually. And I remember I got into this event and I was like, wow, she has people who have even come with her for the event. Because me, I was there, I was so nervous. But she has, people on her team.
Yeah, she has a team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is so cool. So afterwards, I just talked to one of them and yeah.
That's how it is. And they've been your management throughout.
Yes.
And what does the team consist of?
It consists of my manager, and then there's a lawyer who goes through our contracts, and from them I also got my accountant.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Do you still take on brand deals?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm imagining that you've reduced the number because of all the things that you're doing, or how does that work?
I think I've just gotten pickier, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it just needs to really align with where I'm at right now. Yeah.
You're known, obviously, by these brands, and you've worked with a lot of them before. So it's not unheard of that you'll be reached out to. Does your management now also go ahead to pitch? Or how does it work?
Literally, when it comes to content creation, my role in, I guess if we can call it the company, is to create content. Everything else
is handled by someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. I like that for you.
Yeah.
I advise everyone to get management.
Please
if you can.
Yeah.
If you can. Oh, wow.
But also don't get scammed because, hey, there are horror stories of people in management
really?
out there. Yeah.
How does your management work? Is it per deal?
Yes.
Or do you have a retainer? Or?
For me, it's per deal.
It's per deal?
Yes.
Okay, so they also now have to work so that they can also get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Because I've had now the retainer version, but then you can have a retainer, like maybe you've paid this management 3 months in advance, and then in those 3 months you don't get anything, and then now you have to pay them again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm paying you to...
For what?
Why are the brand deals?
When it comes to management, definitely be very, very careful. Read the fine print.
I didn't know people had beyond the payment thing, I didn't know people had horror stories with their management, really.
And don't get a manager who wants to become an influencer.
Do those exist?
Yes.
Serious?
Yeah.
So do they leverage now you?
No, because now if a brand comes, they also start pitching themselves.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
So be very, very careful when you're looking for people to manage you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we can all eat, but not at
like
other
that.
person's expense.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was possible. I thought you have a contract and they're like, yeah, it's only you. Kumbe they also include themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are interesting. The economy is bad, guys, but it can't be that bad. I think people underestimate the importance of the business side of creative work. Like it's all fun and games when you're creating your content or whatever piece of work you're working on. But when the brand deals start coming and you're like, oh, it's actually a job, it's an actual career. So that's nice to know that you have the management and they've been supportive through your journey. Shout out to them.
Shout out.
Now, when it comes to what are the biggest challenges you faced in this industry?
In the beginning, in the beginning, definitely it was, slowly growing and reinvesting what you're making. Because I remember when I started filming, it was a Samsung J7. I'll never forget that I used to balance on the window pane. I didn't even have a stand.
Yeah. Wow.
No mic, no nothing. And slowly, the collection starts building like that. And I think that will always be a struggle throughout because, there's new technology coming out.
Yes, the quality increases.
Exactly.
The price also increases.
Yeah, so that's a struggle up until now.
Yeah.
And then also, then it was managing time, of which I think now it's still come because I have a lot of things on my plate.
True.
I have to do Safirii, I have to do the podcast, and I still have to do content. So time management and just balancing everything, I think, is usually like a big challenge.
I can imagine. But I like that you've shared how you started. I normally feel a little, I don't know whether to say bad, but the pressure for these up and coming creators is much more than it was back then.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, okay, you have to have good quality this. You shoot on an iPhone, you need to shoot on this, you need to get a better camera. But you know, when you just start, it'll just come back. Because the quality, yes, it's an important factor, but the quality of your work, not even the quality of the production and everything, is also important.
Yeah,
so
that's actually very true, because even right now, a lot of people need a videographer, need a photographer to produce content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, back in the day, you
didn't need
just
that.
get your camera, set it up.
Yeah, and just start talking. And it was okay.
You're there learning how to edit.
Yeah.
So start with what you have.
Yeah, and then it will grow eventually. If you're doing it right,
Yeah.
then definitely you'll grow, and then you'll be able to reinvest in yourself, like Wabosha has said. So that's nice. Now you've talked about the podcast, A Letter to My Younger Self.
Yes.
And how many seasons have you guys done so far?
We are on season 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. How many seasons do you produce in a year?
1. But there was a year that we managed to do 2.
Okay, so technically you've been doing it for 4 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your push to start the podcast?
It was 2 things.
Okay.
Number 1, it was during COVID, and I felt like I had been doing content for such a long time. At the time, it was, I can't remember, I started 2016. So I was like, I've been doing the exact same thing for a really long time. I need to do something different.
Yeah.
At the time, there weren't that many podcasts.
True.
So when my manager even suggested podcasts, I was like, interesting. Like, is it a thing now? Will people listen? But we're like, okay, let's just go ahead and start. And it actually worked, because for our first season, like, it wasn't on YouTube, it was actually on a paid platform.
Okay.
So I was charging 100 shillings for the season, and people actually bought the season and watched it, and I was like, okay, so it's something that
people
are interested in.
Yeah.
That, and also with the style of how we conduct the interview, it's very led by the person.
Yes.
And the angle of that was the fact that I was doing so many interviews, and I was being asked the exact same questions.
Okay.
Not questions that, or rather not things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, let the person write the letter, and then I can get the questions from, what
they say.
they write.
Yeah.
And it's sort of worked, because, not really sort of, it has worked.
Yeah.
Because now you get different perspectives from your faves, not just, the questions that everyone asks all the time.
True.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Now I'm like, am I asking the same question? Probably yes. Some of them are the same, and it's okay. Now, can you share a project that you're really, really proud of?
For now, I'd say, or rather right now, I'd really say the podcast. Okay. Because for this season, we got to give away therapy sessions, free therapy sessions, and the entries that we got, like, we're even at a point where we're like, okay, what can we do to try and help all of these people? Like, we can't give all of them
the free therapy sessions.
Yeah, but you really, like, people are going through it.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, people are really going through it. And even after sessions, like, Ayoma the other day texted me, and she was like, oh my God, Wabosha, thank you so much. Like, after I came out of the episode we did, like, I had so much perspective after that, like, just writing the letter to my younger self and talking to myself. And I was like, remember how I told you, like, after each season, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to quit.
Yes, yeah.
And that's how we got season 5. Like,
okay.
After she sent me that message, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm meant to be doing this.
That's really nice, though. As I was saying, I feel like your podcast, not that I feel, I know it has a lot of impact. And writing to your younger self is also something my therapist has told me to do. And it's normally those ones for, like, do I really want to talk to her? Because sometimes it's scary. Like, I don't want to. I've been through a lot.
Yeah, you don't dig that
Yeah,
up.
but it does help. So I get why even she was like, you kind of reflect on your past, to like, it's like healing the inner child, or so as they say. So yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about your business side. I know before you started Safirii, you had a previous business, Bosh Drip.
Yes.
And that also started during COVID.
Yes.
It doesn't run anymore.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
So Bosh Drip, okay, the dream had always been Safirii.
Okay.
But now a travel brand in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
1 and 2 was not really connecting.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I already have this drive to start something. So instead of letting it die down and then I might never get into business again, let me just start something. So in the beginning we were selling jewelry. So it was just like really affordable jewelry shipping in from China, and we were doing well. Like days I used to pack at least 20 orders getting out, because I used to do everything from the house.
Okay.
Mom's attic, packing every order, and it was really nice, but it's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I really tried to pivot Safirii at the time with like sanitary kits that I wanted to maybe pitch to airlines, but even airlines were going through it at the time.
True.
Yeah, so Safirii, it was just a good idea, just not the right time. So I did Bosh Drip for like around a year, and then the next year I got a physical store.
Yeah.
And I did that for another year, and then I was like, okay, now enough time has passed. Let's start slowly switching
to Safirii.
Yeah.
Okay. And since you've said that Safirii was always the goal, how did you know that that is what you wanted to do?
That's the time that I was really traveling. Hey, I used to catch flights. I'm always looking at myself right now. I'm like, we've just been at home. We're not even going anywhere.
Where's the vacation?
Yeah. So it stemmed out of my love for travel, my love for just being anywhere but at home.
Okay.
Seeing places. And I noticed there was really a gap when it came to some essentials that were needed. And also there is no shop in Nairobi that I can think of that if I have a trip tomorrow, whether I'm going to Shags, the beach, a trek somewhere where I can go to and I know I'll get everything. So I just spotted the market gap, and now I'm really working to try and make Safirii be that one store that, you know, before my trip, I'm just going to get here and I'm going to get all my minis, all my bags, all my everything in one shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you design the bags, or do you have a hand in designing the bags? What is the process of from design to market?
So in the beginning in 2020, I actually thought that, you know, the only way to do this was to have the bags made in China.
Yeah.
So that's how I started with my first few samples. But it was going to be too expensive. By the time the bag got here, it would have been ridiculously expensive, and it didn't make sense. So in the beginning, there was only one bag, like our essentials pouch, that I couldn't find guys to produce here. So that one was still being made in China. And then slowly searching all the rest, I got guys to do it here. So I was outsourcing the service from a lady called Lillian. Her and her company, they were making the bags for us, and then we sold them. But then now it's something that we've taken up not too long ago, like 2 months. So now we have our own production team. So we are running everything, and
how is that going?
A lot of expensive mistakes, for sure, but we are getting there.
Well, at least it's a learning curve you have to go through.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. So everything now is made in Kenya.
Yes.
So even the material is sourced from Kenya.
Yes.
There's no outside.
The only things that come from outside are things like the accessories like zippers and D-rings, just because I've not been able to get really quality ones here. So I just bring those in, but other than that, everything else is gotten from Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Safirii also has a physical location.
Yes.
Where is it located?
We have a shop on Chaka Road Mall, third floor.
Nice.
Yes.
And now your content has, as you've said, started shifting towards the business aspect.
Yeah.
Is it that you want to share more practical business tips, or you just want to show Safirii in action, or what is your thinking towards that line?
Yeah, because like I said, my content now, it's now about me.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to focus more on Safirii, but this is now my journey as a business owner. Like the way we are speaking, and I'm like, hey, the struggles. So that's more what I want to share.
Okay.
Just the process, because I think it's really easy for you to see a big business and you're like, wow, this
It's
just
flourishing.
happened overnight.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you notice them after, they've gotten really, really successful, and you miss this part where they were really, really struggling. So I just want to share more of the journey and the process of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you started? I think on your stories.
Yeah,
I
on
see
my
that on your
stories, yes.
Yes.
On my reels, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to do it. I think I have like imposter syndrome when it comes to that part of sharing, because I've recorded a few things and then I'm like, ugh, or maybe no one wants to see this part. So I'm still trying to figure out how to bring that to my feed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you should just start.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I can't be here telling people, just do it.
Just do it. Then you're not doing it. I might send you a DM, I ask you about business tips, and you say, okay, let me post it on my Instagram. It can be like part 2 of YouTube,
Yeah.
Like it can be, it can be your coming up story, part 2.
For sure.
I'll send you a DM after this. So now that you have 3 things, you're a content creator, you have the podcast, you have Safirii, you must have a lot of people giving you feedback on all the things that you're doing, and sometimes the feedback might not be positive. How do you handle that?
I think really early on in the creative industry, you learn how to sift.
Yes.
Because there are some people who will give you criticism and, constructive criticism that is not really constructing anything, so you really need to learn how to sift and not take things to heart. Like if you really listen, then you can know, okay, this is coming from a good place, someone who just wants me to grow, or someone who has suggested a change that can actually benefit you. Even when it comes to the bag, if someone looks at the bag and is like, oh, I'd like this, but maybe add this or remove that. And that's how actually some of our bags have come up.
Yeah.
Versus sometimes there's a person who will just comment on maybe like a YouTube video and be like, now what is this? If you just say, now what is this? How is that supposed to help me? How is that meant to help you?
Yes, true.
So you just, I think, really need to sift and look for criticism that will actually push you forward. And for the rest of it, you need to learn how to just
ignore.
And the ignoring is harder said than done.
It is. That's true.
It's very easy to say ignore because you also quickly figure out that a lot of the things that for other people will be really mean, for you that one might be easy to ignore until someone touches a point that is maybe sensitive or an insecurity.
Yes.
And for someone else is like, oh, that's something really small, why is that? But it's like, no.
You don't understand. Yeah. It's true. Insults can be personal too. Unfortunately,
you have to grow thick skin, man.
Yeah, that's true. And I think you've gone through some tough times in this industry.
Hey, there was even once I was like, I'm actually done. I'm very, very done with this, and I'm not going to come back.
The price you pay of being in the public eye. That's it. Can you tell me a moment of failure for you in anything that you've done so far as a creative?
I've actually never thought about that.
Really? A question not all the other interviewers have asked. Yeah, that's a win for us here.
I think I can speak on it from that angle of a moment of setback, because I remember, and even it ties into the previous questions of comments and criticism, where it was Joanna at the time. very many years ago, she had put up a post on IG.
Yeah.
With very good intentions to, get constructive criticism from people. And it was just like an open-ended question to everyone for, guys, just leave criticism for your favorite creators in the comment section.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it started out so nice.
Very positive.
Yeah. But of course, it blew up and no one was safe.
Oh.
No one was actually safe. And that's actually the one time I was going to quit. So at the time, I was doing Vlogmas.
Okay.
So you can imagine 25 videos. And I'm really like, it puts a strain on you every single day.
Daily,
to wake up and film and edit and film and edit. Some days even doing 2 because tomorrow you're going to be busy.
True.
And then someone in the comment section said, I actually, it's crazy that right now I can't even remember the exact words.
Okay, that's a good thing though.
Used.
That's a good thing, yeah.
But I remember reading it, and that Vlogmas even just ended there.
Oh no.
And I was like, and I could tell it's someone who probably is not even watching it.
Okay.
Has probably maybe watched 1 or 2 things from the series, but it really broke me.
Oh no.
And that time I was like, I don't think I'm even going to do YouTube anymore. Even this Instagram, I don't want to do it anymore. Actually, these people are never even going to see me again. I'm just going to go and be an engineer. And I don't have to deal with all of this.
Yeah.
But come January, there I was.
So what made you come back? Do you remember?
I missed it.
Okay.
I missed recording the videos because now at the time it was December during Vlogmas. So I think I only had maybe like 5 videos to go. So that means I had done probably until like December 15th. So I had like 2 weeks to the new year where I was not touching a camera. I was not talking to myself. And then I just missed it.
Yeah.
Like one day I woke up and I was like, damn, I really want to vlog.
And then
so
you said,
vlogged.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to know. But the good thing is, as you said, you don't remember what the comment was. Because if you did, I'd have been like, are you healing?
Okay.
Have you healed yet? But it's crazy how you can, as you said, Joanna had very good intentions when she posted it.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy how people can be like, now is my chance to be malicious. Because that's it's malice, you know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you give people a chance. You know this Instagram, there's a questions tag thing. And I remember like before when I used to do it, it would be okay, like everyone would ask questions whoever wanted to ask.
Yeah.
But then I realized people these days prefer the anonymous one so that they can just say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
I keep seeing people's stories of them now when they use the anonymous one and they're like, you guys, I think even the other day Victor Peace had done one. He was like, hey, you guys, see, you guys are doing too much now. I'm just like, hey, you guys have a lot to say. You have a lot to get off your chest. Just tell me in person, imagine.
But it's crazy, the things that people will say when it's almost like they don't think it's a real person.
Yes.
On the other side. And also a lot of the times they wouldn't say these things to your face.
That's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. Say to my, if you can type it, I hope you can say to my face.
Because there's actually a lot of the times if someone comes, as in you even come to look for me in my DM, those ones are just, delete and block you.
Yes.
But there's one time I responded.
Really?
Because this girl, this is actually mad. It was a giveaway.
Okay.
So I'm going through everyone who's entered the giveaway. Then I scroll up and she had left a really mean DM. And then she came to enter the giveaway.
Okay. Nice.
So I even asked her, I was like, are you actually okay? Like, did you forget? And she went back and deleted it and she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was just having a bad day. And I was like, now that you're having a bad day, we both need to have a bad day.
Like, what did I do? How was I involved in your day to begin with? Oh my goodness, really?
So it really proves that narrative for it's almost like they don't think it's real people on the other side. And also that we actually see it. Yeah.
And I do think that people in the public eye are held to a higher standard, which I don't know how to feel about that, because I get, you can look up to these people, they're doing maybe something that you see yourself aspiring to be or so on, But at the end of the day, they're also just humans. Like
Yeah.
they're going to make mistakes. They're going to live their lives. And I wish people would extend that grace, because it's very easy to judge someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, there are no consequences.
Yeah.
But if it's crazy how you can have someone who like probably be saying bad things about you in your DMs, behind your back, on those gossip pages or whatever. And then when they meet you, it's like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. And like, was that really true?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
That's right.
It's really interesting to see that. And now that you have, do you handle the content for Safirii? Sorry, to take you back to Safirii.
No,
you have a content manager, someone who does it for you.
Yeah. For Safirii, the only thing I do is create
Show up.
the product. I wish I would do that as well too.
Soon,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the only thing I do is making of the bags. I mean, I'm still a bit more involved even when it comes to the content, because I still appear there as a model a lot of the time.
True.
And even in production, I need to be at the workshop now, more than ever, because we're still in the baby stages.
Yes.
But yeah, when it comes to content, I was like, no, let me just hand this over to someone else.
Yeah. Because I was going to ask you how you handle that now creative side with the business aspect. But now that you've said you delegated.
Yeah.
I get it. And you also technically you also delegated the business aspects in your own personal content, as you mentioned before, with your management. Yeah, you were like,
it's important to pick and choose your battles.
I agree. And if you have the means to have other people take the load off of you, go for it.
Really
Go for it. Praying that can happen for Cre8, because I'm tired.
It will soon.
I'm looking for someone to delegate some stuff to as well. Are there any resources or tools in your creative journey that you feel like helped you and could help others? And if so, can you share them?
In the beginning, it was definitely School of YouTube. Like, everything is on there. Like, up until now, when I'm editing and I want to do something that, I don't quite know. I just type exactly what I want to do, and I'm always shocked that there's always an answer for it. When it comes to present day, ChatGPT is my best friend. And I know it's a bit creepy that the more information you feed it, the better the responses become, but it's also a good thing.
True.
Yeah.
I really do wish that I was in uni when ChatGPT was a thing.
Like
right before they figured out the AI plagiarism tools or whatever. Because I remember, I think it was 2022 when it started like being a big thing. I just finished my master's. Wrote a 100-page thesis.
Come on.
I'm like, goodness.
Where was it?
ChatGPT, why? 1 year? Come on. Yeah, but now sometimes I'm very skeptical about like people who like are finishing school now. Like I'm not to discredit the people who are going to be our future doctors and lawyers, but and engineers.
Yeah.
But is there a way we can test? I don't know.
If it's legit, actually, now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, I could have just fed ChatGPT my entire project.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would not have been as smart as I am today. I mean, I have like very few brain cells left, to be fair. Like, I'm tired all the time. But I feel like if I had ChatGPT even in uni, like my undergrad,
it would have made that difference.
But maybe not a positive word. Like, I mean, it would have lightened my workload, obviously. But would I have understood exactly what I was learning? Because I'll just be like, I feed it the presentations that my lecturers are giving me, and then I feed it the questions, and I'm like, Ebu, answer.
That's it.
Ebu, do my term paper for me.
But then also, are they really... Because I feel like right now they're a bit more strict when it comes to plagiarism.
Yes.
Because I've been seeing how people are getting caught.
So this is okay. I when I was in uni, we had to submit all our assignments online through like a plagiarism, and it had a plagiarism tool. So I mean, you can't just go to like Wikipedia and just copy paste
everything.
But I've seen people now for the AI, they take like 3 different AI tools, so like ChatGPT, Gemini, another one, and they copy paste and then take it to 3 different AI tools. So it's crazy. People are so smart, but like smart at
cheating.
So I'm envious of the people who have AI tools right now, and the people who did like major exams during COVID.
Yeah.
Because you're doing your exam online. What do you mean?
Yeah,
I'm
for
so
sure.
jealous, guys. I was there using all my brain power. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, but I think YouTube has helped a lot of people, and it
Yeah.
continues to help. Yeah, so YouTube is a really good resource to use. Is there anything that you miss about, not being a public figure or creative?
I'm very socially awkward.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very socially awkward, very socially anxious. And I feel like sometimes when people recognize you, because it's easier when people recognize you and they say hi.
Yeah.
But sometimes people will recognize you, but then they'll just look at you.
Yes,
Like
that's so
from the
true.
time you enter, you have like maybe 2-3 people staring at you. Now, when I see you staring at me, I don't think you've recognized me initially.
Okay.
I'm like, is
something wrong?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's the hardest part of it.
So
Being
you miss-
recognizable.
Yeah. So you miss not being recognizable.
Yeah.
So
I've
do you?
always said,
sorry.
sorry to cut you off. I've always said that if there's a way I could go back and do it
Yeah.
while showing like
Being anonymous.
yeah, my eyes only,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, I'd definitely take that route.
So does that hinder you from doing things?
I do not think so. One of the people who I'm not going to let being Wabosha stop me from having fun.
Okay, that's good.
Like, I'm always even thinking, if I've not been on, hey, let me not jinx it.
I know what you're gonna say though. If you've not been on those sites, on those pages.
Let me touch wood. Any wood. But I don't let it stop me from doing anything, because I don't think I'm doing anything that's so outrageous. I'm just having the same amount of fun as other 28-year-olds out there. So yeah,
that's good though. So when you go out, you're not worried, you're okay. It's just that initial shock or like anxiety of like being recognized that stops you from, not stops you really, but like
makes me feel
catches you off guard.
Yeah,
that's the word. Okay, I think that's really nice. I have a fear. Like I even stopped going out as much.
Really?
Okay, for personal reasons too. Like I just Heini Bambi like before.
Anymore.
Yeah, I think it's. But I went to Blankets and it was amazing and I had a great time. And
that's nice.
A blanket is always a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not sponsored, but it could be.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, so I am normally also really cautious. I'm like, do you recognize? Because I keep telling everyone, I'm still a relatively small influencer. Like I'm a nano influencer. So I don't expect people to know who I am. Like I'm just like, I know like the followers I have are, if you think about it, if they were present, those are many people.
Yeah.
But online, it looks like a small number compared to other creators. So when I see them, when I see people coming to say hi to me or like looking at me, I'm always so shocked. I'm like, oh my goodness.
How do they know me?
You know me? And then now because of the podcast, it's also now become a thing. Like, oh my God, yeah, your podcast is so amazing. I'm like, thank you. And then I'm also like, I'm thankful because it's like, wow, thank you. Like, I put a lot of work in that, but also thank you for knowing who I am. That's shocking. I'm shocked.
It's nice to put faces to the numbers.
Yes, it's nice. I like seeing them. And it's nice that I feel like for the most part, I've met very... what's the word? Friendly people. Like they don't. I haven't met someone who's been mean, which is.
I don't think I've also met a mean in person.
Yeah,
people are nice.
I mean, I've heard stories of like other creators who've met someone who's like, but why do you do it like this? Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'd have to go and cry in a corner. I have to go cry in a corner.
Oh my God.
Yeah, imagine you're just there having a great time. It's like, but like, why did you have to do that content like that? You should have done this instead. I'm just like, thank you, but like,
no.
This is not the energy you should be approaching me. I'm sad now. Now I'm sad. Yeah, so thank God, and I'm touching with them like that. But yeah. What are your goals and aspirations for you and all the things that you do?
Right now, I think I'm just really focused on Safirii.
Yeah.
Trying to build it, trying to make it a household name. So all my focus is there, and I really just can't wait when I'm at the point where I feel like I've figured most of it out. I don't think there's a point you'll have figured all of it, but at least most of it
Gets
out.
better.
Yeah.
Do you ship okay, so you ship within Kenya?
Worldwide.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you gotten some international orders?
Yes, we actually have an order today that has just gone to the States.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank
amazing.
you.
Oh, we love to see it.
Yeah.
Safirii to the world.
Has a nice ring to it.
I think it does. We want to see you open a store in the States as well,
Hey.
or wherever life will take you. Can you give a piece of advice to up-and-coming creatives, or just creatives who have been in the scene and need a little advice?
I think the name of the game is always consistency. People really underplay the power of being consistent. There is no way you're going to wake up every single day and give a small percentage and it goes unrecognizable. I mean, it's not every day you'll be able to give 100, but even if today you wake up and you give that 5% that you have on that day, in the end it's cumulative. Like, it ends up paying off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wabosha, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It was a lovely conversation. I've learned more about you than I did before.
It was so lovely.
So, yeah, thank you. Can you please tell our audience where they can find you and everything that you do?
Yeah. You guys can catch me on Instagram and TikTok at Wabosha Maxine, the podcast on at A Letter to My Younger Self, and the business page at Safirii. That is Safirii with a double I at the end.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was Wabosha exclusively here on the Cre8 Podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Cre8 Podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. Like, share, and comment whose story you'd like to hear next. And in the meantime, you can vibe with us on all our social media platforms at the Cre8 Pod. Remember to stay creative, and I'll catch you in the next one.